Hi students, how are you? Welcome back to our beautiful channel Chem High. So today I am going to start new chapter from 12th physical chemistry, that is the electrochemistry. This is also one of the most important chapter, entrance point of view, most important chapter, and at the same time very easy and interesting chapter. So here we are going to concentrate on two concepts only. One is how to convert electrical energy to chemical energy. Nothing but very simple. By using electric current, how to conduct the different chemical reactions. Anyhow, in metallurgy we learned that is extraction of magnesium, calcium, aluminum, all this by using electrometallurgy. Electrometallurgy is by passing electric current, extraction of these elements. So by using current we are extracting some metals, or we are conducting some chemical reactions. So this part just a conversion of electrical energy to chemical energy, that is one part. And second part is how to convert chemical energy to electrical energy. Nothing but by using different chemical reactions, how to produce this electric current, how to generate the electric current. Nothing but which is a better reaction to produce this electric current. There is a spontaneous reactions, which type of reactions we have to use. So there, conversion of chemical energy to electrical energy, conversion of electrical energy to chemical energy, these two concepts we are concentrating more in this chapter. Okay, so electrochemistry. So electrochemistry, what is this electrochemistry? It is the branch of physical chemistry which deals with conversion of electrical energy to chemical energy and chemical energy to electrical energy. So that is the electrochemistry. So in this electrochemistry, anyhow, in this video we are going to learn. So today we are going to learn that is what are the different types of electrochemical cells. What are the different types of electrochemical cells? Nothing but electrolytic. To convert electrical energy to chemical energy, one type. To convert electrical energy to chemical, another type. So what are the different types? Electrical to chemical, one type. Chemical to electrical, another type. So what are the two types of electrochemical cells? So what are the electrochemical cells? And next, conductors. So what are the different types of conductors? Nothing but electrolytic conductors, metallic conductors, electrolytes and non-electrolytes. This part we are going to learn. Okay, so before that, anyhow, what is oxidation and reduction? Because in this chapter number of times we are going to use redox reactions, different types of oxidation and reduction reactions. So what is that oxidation reaction and what is the reduction reaction? So oxidation reaction, what is this oxidation reaction? So here, for example, zinc plus copper sulfate aqueous solution given. It gives a ZnSO4 aqueous and copper. Okay, ZnSO4 plus aqueous and copper. So what happened here? See this zinc oxidation state. Oxidation state, the number of electrons lost or number of electrons gained by element based on that reaction. Okay, that is the oxidation state. Now what happens here? The oxidation state of zinc in elements, the oxidation state is 0. And here oxidation state plus 2. 0 to plus 2. 0 to plus 2 means oxidation number increased. Oxidation number increase means losing electrons. Oxidation number increases means that is losing electrons. So losing electrons, or simply if it gains, for example, M plus O2 gives MO like this given. Nothing but combination with oxygen, like that gaining of oxygen. Oxygen means more electronegative element. So losing electrons or gaining more electronegative element or losing a less electronegative element. For example, losing hydrogens like this, less electronegative element like this, anyone given, that process is a oxidation. So what is oxidation? Losing electrons, nothing but increase in oxidation number, or gaining more electronegative element or losing less electronegative element. That process is a oxidation. If anyone undergoes oxidation, that acts as a reducing agent. That acts as reducing agent. If it undergoes oxidation, acts as a reducing agent. Nothing but it causes reduction in opposite one. It undergoes oxidation, it is responsible for the reduction in opposite. Nothing but in process, it undergoes oxidation. Now here reduction takes place. Nothing but this is the responsible for the reduction in this one, causes reduction in opposite. So it acts as a reducing agent. So which one undergoes oxidation easily, that has a more reducing power, more reducing power. So it is a reducing agent. Like that here, come to this one, Cu plus 2. Cu plus 2 changes to Cu. What happened here? Plus 2 to 0. Plus 2 to 0 means oxidation number decreased. Decrease in oxidation number, nothing but gaining electrons. So gaining electrons, that process is a reduction process. So what is this reduction? gaining electrons or decrease in oxidation number, or simply losing more reverse of that, losing more electronegative elements or gaining less electronegative elements, like that anyone. If metal oxide decomposes to metal, then that time what happened? The process is reduction, losing oxygen. So losing more electronegative element or gaining less electronegative element or gaining electrons or decrease in oxidation number, that process is a reduction process. If anyone undergoes reduction, that acts as a oxidizing agent, nothing but that causes oxidation in opposite one. So that has a, which is a good, if one undergoes reduction easily, that is a good oxidizing agent. Its oxidizing power is more. Its oxidizing power is more. It undergoes reduction easily. Then its oxidizing power is more. Nothing but it causes oxidation easily, opposite to one. Okay. So in given reaction, both oxidation and reduction takes place. That reaction is a redox reaction. In given reaction, reduction takes place and also oxidation takes place. Like that happened, that reaction is a redox reaction. Now it undergoes itself easily. So it is a spontaneous redox reaction. Spontaneous redox reaction is delta G is a negative. Delta G is negative, spontaneity, feasibility. It undergoes reaction easily. That is nothing but more favorable reaction. So it is a spontaneous. If reverse taken, there is a non-spontaneous redox reaction. Reverse is a non-spontaneous. Now this is a spontaneous redox reaction. Anyhow, what is oxidation? What is reduction? What is oxidizing agent? What is reducing agent? Because in this chapter, number of times we are going to use redox reactions. Oxidation, reduction, reducing agent, oxidizing agent. Okay. Now come to this chapter. Electrochemistry, branch of physical chemistry, which deals with the conversion of electrical energy to chemical energy and chemical energy to electrical energy. So for this conversion, we need cell, some device. Okay, electrochemical cell. For this complete process, we are using one device, that is called electrochemical cell. So what are the different types? So electrolytic cell, electrolytic cell, galvanic cell. This is only electrochemical cell. Galvanic cell, galvanic cell or voltaic cell, or simply it is a electrochemical cell. So electrolytic cell, electrochemical cell, that is galvanic cell. What happens here? Where electrical energy changes to chemical energy, how this process takes place? Nothing but what are the differences between electrolytic cells and galvanic cells? Okay, so electrolytic cell, here we are using one vessel, that is only electrolytic cell. Here we are using molten, nothing but fused hot liquid, or we can use aqueous or molten or fused liquid. Nothing but that liquid contains ions. Which liquid contains ions? That is called electrolyte. This is electrolyte. Okay. In this electrolyte, like this, we can use metallic or non-metallic, because graphite is the best one. So graphite, that is a non-metal only low. So metallic or non-metallic, anyhow one matter, one substance that is dipped in a electrolytic solution. Now this is called electrode. Now this is an electrode. Like this, two electrodes we are taking here. Substance that dipped in a electrolytic solution. Now it is a metallic rods or non-metallic we can take. So it is active or inert. Active means that also involved in reaction. Inert means not involved in reaction. For example, graphite rods are placed. Graphite not involved in any oxidation or reduction reaction. Or platinum rods are used. Platinum not involved in any oxidation or reduction. Nothing but these are inert electrodes. We can use inert electrodes. Otherwise, there is a silver nitrate solution, silver rod is placed. The silver rod also involved in that reaction. Then it is a active electrode. Okay. Anyhow, metal rod dipped in an electrolytic solution or non-metal dipped in electrolytic solution. Now this is a electrode. This electrode connected to battery. This is its function, just push electrons and pulls electrons. Now it pulls electrons from this. Okay, it pulls electrons from this, means it getting a positive charge or negative charge, it gets a positive charge. Yes or no? Pulls electrons from this, then it gets positive charge. Pushes electrons into this, it gets negative charge. This is getting positive charge and this is getting negative charge. So here positively charged electrode, it is called anode. This is very important one. They are different, reverse. Okay, positively charged electrode is anode and this negatively charged electrode is called cathode. This is cathode. Okay, just one vessel we are using. That vessel is filled with a electrolytic solution. Electrolytic solution means there is a liquid with ions, nothing but that conducts electricity. That is a good conductor. Okay, there is electrolyte. Then two metal or non-metallic rods we are placing in this electrolyte. Which one placed in electrolyte that is in contact with electrolyte, that is called electrode. Electrodes here two types, anode and cathode. Now it is a pulls electrons from this, nothing but it is getting positive charge. This positively charged electrode is called anode and pushes electrons into this, so it is getting negative charge. This negatively charged electrode is called a cathode. So anode and cathode. Okay. Now here pass electric current. In this one electrolyte we are using. Now decomposition of this compound takes place. Decomposition of compound. Okay. Then this decomposes to ions. Now for example NaCl I am using NaCl solution. Okay, molten NaCl. Now this Na plus cation migrates towards cathode or anode. Cation is positively charged. Cations, anions. Positively charged ion is cation and negatively charged ion is anion. Cation migrates towards cathode and anion migrates towards anode. Opposite charged electrodes. See this, oppositely charged. Just cat migrates towards cat. Cation migrates towards cation. Anion migrates towards anion. Anode. Okay. Anion migrates towards anode. Cation migrates towards cathode. Cation means positive. Cathode is a negative. Anion is negative. Anode is a positive. Now oppositely charged electrodes migrates. Now this cation migrates towards cathode. Okay. At this cathode, Na plus electrons are less. And this is the negative electrode. Electrons are more. Then what happens? This Na plus gains electrons. It changes to sodium. Now it changes to sodium. Na plus plus electron. Gaining electron. Nothing but there is oxidation or reduction. Losing electrons is oxidation. That's why we discussed initially oxidation and reduction. Losing electrons, oxidation. Gaining electrons is a reduction. Now what is this process? Reduction process. Nothing but at cathode always reduction takes place. Always at cathode the process is a reduction process. Nothing but gaining electrons. Negative electrode is cathode. At cathode always cations only. Cations migrates towards that and the process is a reduction process. And come to this anode. Now anion migrates towards this because anode is positive. Anion is negative. Migrates towards this. Here what happens? Cl minus. Electrons are more. Negative ion. And here positive charge. Then it loses electrons. Cl minus loses electron. It changes to Cl2 gas. Okay, half I am taking. Cl minus changes to Cl2. Now here what happened? Losing electrons. Losing electrons means the process is a oxidation process where this at anode oxidation takes place. At anode oxidation, at cathode reduction, and we are passing electric current. By using that electric current here we are conducting some chemical reactions. Nothing but what happened here? Electrical energy changes to chemical energy. Actually this is not spontaneous, this is a non-spontaneous. NaCl not decomposes easily, but by passing electric current NaCl decomposes and they produces sodium and chlorine gas. So here one non-spontaneous process we are non-spontaneous redox process one we are conducting by passing electric current. So this cell is a electrolytic cell. So in electrolytic cell what happens? Electrical energy changes to chemical energy and the reactions are non-spontaneous redox reactions. And here anode is a positive and cathode is a negative. At cathode what is the reaction? Reduction. At anode the reaction is a oxidation. And two electrodes placed in same container or different containers a single cell. So two electrodes are placed in a single cell. Here we are applying EMF or EMF is generated. We are using electric current then conducting chemical reactions. Nothing but EMF, electromotive force, force to move the electrons. So electromotive force is applied. Okay. So positive is anode, negative is cathode. Like this any process given there is a, that cell is a electrolytic cell. Two electrodes we are placing in single cell. Okay, and one electrolyte only we are using. Their oxidation reduction takes place. But spontaneous or non-spontaneous? Non-spontaneous redox reactions takes place. Okay, so conversion of electrical energy to chemical energy. That is the electrolytic cell. Now come to the galvanic cell. In this galvanic cell, here we are using two half cells. Two half cells means here electrolyte, ionic solution. Here for example this is a zinc sulfate solution. Zinc sulfate. So I am using zinc rod, metal rod dipped in its aqueous solution, it's a salt solution. Metal rod dipped in its salt solution. This is taken as one half cell. Okay, this is one half cell, this is one electrode, this is a half cell. And here copper sulfate, for example. Later anyhow galvanic cells one separate part, detailed explanation there. Now we are learning just differences. What are the differences between these two? Okay, copper sulfate. Here we are using copper electrode. Okay, copper rod in copper sulfate solution. Metal rod is in contact with its salt solution. That is one half cell, one half electrode. So here one electric cell and here one cell and here one cell, half cell we are using. These two are connected. Okay, these two are connected. Now here two rods connected by outer and two solutions are connected by using one U-shaped tube. Because here two different cells we are using, no direct contact with these liquids, no direct contact, nothing but circuit not completed. So to complete the circuit, here we are using one U-shaped like this. U-shaped tube we are using to connect these two solutions, one U-shaped tube. And here inside it, this one filled with KCl or KNO3 also we can use in agar-agar gel. Okay, in agar-agar gel, both with same they move with same speed and slowly. That's why we are using agar-agar gel. Slow movement is required. Okay, now why we are using this means two solutions directly not connected here, two different vessels we are using. So to complete the circuits, anyhow about this detailed explanation is there. That is very important concept. Now this is a salt bridge. Okay. So here two solutions, two half cells are connected by using salt bridge. What is this salt bridge? Later we can learn. So now what happens here? Now zinc rod dipped in ZnSO4 solution, copper rod dipped in copper sulfate solution. Now based on its affinity to lose electron, which one has more affinity to lose electron? That loses electron easily. So zinc loses electron easily compared to that copper. That's why now zinc loses electrons. Zinc releases electrons. So here negative charge is developed. That's why this we are taking as negative. In that cell what happened? That used as a positive. Now here this one releases electrons. From this only electrons are released from these rods, because here we are generating that electric current by using chemical reactions. Okay. So observe that this one releases electrons negative charge. That's why it is represented by negative. This negative is called anode. Okay, from this, but direction same. See that direction, electrons migrates here like this, from this released, then enters into this. Now what happens here? This copper rod, this is a copper rod, and here copper sulfate solution is there. Electrons enters into this. Now this is a positive ions. These positive ions takes the electrons, nothing but it is a positive charge. Okay, this is negative and this is a positive. Negative is called anode and positive is called cathode. There negative is the cathode, positive is the anode, reverse. Okay, negative is anode and positive is cathode, because this one only generates electrons, negative charge generated. That's why it is a anode, and here it takes the electrons. That electrons gaining by Cu plus 2 ions. So here positive. So it is taken as a positive electrode. This positive electrode is cathode and this negative electrode is a anode. Anyhow, two electrodes we are using. Now observe the reaction. Here what happens? Zinc changes to Zn plus 2. Zinc has more affinity to lose electrons. That's why zinc loses electrons. So it is negative, like that only we are taking. So zinc loses electrons means what is the ion produced? Zn plus 2. Losing electrons. Now it is oxidation or reduction? Losing electrons is oxidation. At anode, what is the reaction takes place? Oxidation reaction. At anode, oxidation. Now at cathode, gaining of electrons gained by Cu plus 2. So Cu plus 2 gains these electrons, changes to Cu. Yes or no? Changes to Cu. Now copper is formed. Cu plus 2 changes to copper. This copper deposits on this. That's why this rod size increases. And the zinc changes to Zn plus 2 ion. Zn plus 2 ions enters into the solution. So this size decreases. Slowly its size decreases, its size increases. Here copper deposits. Anyhow, what happened here? Cu plus 2 gains electrons, changes to copper. Nothing but the process is a reduction. So at anode the process is oxidation. At cathode the process is a reduction. It is a spontaneous redox reaction. So here oxidation takes place, there reduction takes place. Here also redox. It is a spontaneous redox reaction. Now by this redox reaction, flow of electrons. At the same time, opposite direction, flow of current. Migration of electrons anode to cathode, then flow of current from cathode to anode. So here what happened? Chemical energy, by using these redox spontaneous reactions, current produced. So chemical energy changes to electrical energy. Like this, any cell given, that cell is called galvanic cell. So galvanic cell is used to convert chemical energy to electrical energy, and electrolytic cell is used to convert electrical energy to chemical energy. Now come to the differences. So what are the differences? What we observed here? What are the differences between electrolytic cells and galvanic cells? Okay. So here what happened? Here electrical energy, by using electrical energy, some chemical reactions conducted. So electrical energy changes to chemical energy. Electrical energy changes to chemical energy. And the reactions are spontaneous or non-spontaneous? They are non-spontaneous. By passing electric current, we conducted the reactions. So here these are non-spontaneous redox reactions. Non-spontaneous reactions. Okay, non-spontaneous. And here anode is a negative or positive? Anode is positive and cathode is a negative. Yes or no? In electrolytic cells, anode is positive, cathode is a negative. At anode, what is the reaction? At anode, what happened? All anions migrate towards anode, loses electrons. Loses electrons means the process of oxidation. At anode, the reaction is oxidation. Always at anode, reaction is oxidation, and at cathode, the reaction is a reduction. At cathode, the reaction is reduction. Here, what happened? Here, electrical changes to chemical. Here, by using spontaneous chemical reactions only, that chemical energy converted to electrical energy. So, chemical energy to electrical energy. Yes or no? Chemical energy changes to electrical energy. And here, what are the reactions? Spontaneous redox reactions. Spontaneous redox reactions takes place in this. And what is that anode here? Anode is a negative and cathode is a positive. But at anode, what is the reaction? At anode, zinc is the anode. At zinc anode, what happens? Zinc changes to Zn plus 2 electrons. Nothing but losing electrons. Losing electrons is oxidation. So at anode, see, both are similar. At anode, oxidation, but these two reverse. Okay, reaction is similar. At anode, oxidation takes place. At cathode, reduction takes place. The reaction at anode is oxidation. The reaction at cathode is a reduction. At cathode, reduction. Now here, any salt bridge is used? No salt bridge. No salt bridge. But here, two half cells we are using. Two half cells are connected by using salt bridge. So here no salt bridge. Salt bridge is also very important concept. Here no salt bridge, but there we are using salt bridge. And two electrodes in same single container or different containers. Two electrodes in same container we placed. Yes or no? Like this we used. Two electrodes in single container. Okay. But here two electrodes in different containers. Two half cells we are using. We are using two half cells in galvanic cell. Two electrodes we are placing in single electrolytic cell. Single electrolytic cell. Okay, nothing but single electrolyte. There are two half cells used. And here, no salt bridge. Here salt bridge we are using. Two electrodes are placed in single electrolyte. Now here reaction takes place. After this reduction and oxidation, ions are discharged at anode or cathode. Here what happened? Na plus, this example only we use now. Na plus changes to Na. Ions are discharged at cathode. Cl minus changes to Cl2. Ions are discharged at anode. Nothing but in electrolytic cell, ions are discharged at anode and cathode. Ions are discharged at anode and cathode. Here ions are discharged at in galvanic cell what happened? Once again observe. Zinc changes to Zn plus 2. Zn plus 2 ion formed. Ions not discharged. But at cathode what happens? Cu plus 2 changes to Cu. Yes or no? Cu plus 2 change to Cu means ions are discharged. At anode discharged, at cathode discharged, at cathode only. This is also very important difference. In electrolytic cell, ions are discharged at both anode and cathode. But in galvanic cell, ions are discharged at cathode only. Okay. Here non-spontaneous reactions, but there spontaneous reactions. Here anode is positive, cathode is negative. But there anode is negative, cathode is positive. But reactions are at anode, oxidation at cathode reduction. There also at anode, oxidation, cathode reduction. Here we are not using any salt bridge, but there we are using salt bridge. Two electrodes are placed in single electrolyte, but there are two different half cells we are using. Okay. And here EMF are applied. We are using electric current conducting reactions. Nothing but EMF applied. Okay, here by using chemical spontaneous reactions, generation of the electric current. Nothing but here generates electric current. Nothing but it is the EMF generated. EMF produced. So in galvanic cell, EMF generated. In electrolytic cell, EMF is applied. So these cells we are using to convert electrical energy to chemical energy. Detailed explanation later there about this we are going to learn. Okay, and in these cells we are converting chemical energy to electrical energy. How to generate that, how to calculate EMF also there. This is one part, this is another part. These two parts only we are concentrating more in this chapter, electrochemistry. How to convert electrical energy to chemical energy to electrical energy. Anyhow, these are the differences between electrolytic cells and galvanic cells. So question, just the following is correct statement and wrong statement. What are the statements here? How the process takes place. Okay, this is about differences between electrolytic cells and galvanic cells. So next, what are conductors? Conductors, different types of conductors. Conductor means it allows flow of current through it. In this only you can observe electrolytic cell. Electrolyte, ions allows flow of current through it, and graphite rods we are using, that also allows flow of current through it. Yes or no? So both are conductors or not? Conductors. What are these conductors? Substances which allows flow of current through them. They are conductors. For example, iron conductor, aluminium conductor, which allows flow of current, copper conductor, which allows, or NaCl. This NaCl not solid, NaCl aqueous solution fused, like the salt solutions or acid solutions. Given they are conductors, nothing but they allows flow of current through them. Substances which not allows flow of current through them, they are called insulators. So conductors and insulators. For example, rubber, wood, wax. These not allows flow of current through them. Nothing but they are insulators. So conductors. What are the different types of conductors? Substances which allows flow of current through them. So here we are using examples of copper, silver and iron, aluminium. These allows flow of current, yes or no? And NaCl, KCl, MgSO4, salt solutions, aqueous solutions are fused. These also allows flow of current through them. So two different are not. One is a solid, another is a liquid. And here no ions, just electrons, and here ions are present. So based on this, conductors are divided into two types. So what are the two types of conductors? Metallic conductors. Metallic conductors are also called electronic conductors. Electronic conductors and electrolytic conductors. electrolytic conductors. Metallic conductors or electronic conductors, electrolytic conductors. So what are these metallic conductors or electronic conductors? These are solids. Generally these are liquids, but here cesium, mercury, gallium, these are liquids only. No, liquids. Okay, liquids. So except these are remaining all are solids. So generally these are liquids. Here flow of current allows flow of current through them by the flow of electrons. Here what happens means flow of electrons. Just metallic conductors, free electrons are present. These free electrons movement takes place. So here what happens? Flow of electrons. Flow of electrons means is the physical change or chemical change? Just it is the physical change. Okay, here what happens? Ions are present because of ions, ionic compounds in liquid state. Free movement of ions takes place. Free movement of ions there conducts electricity, or free movement of free electrons there then also conducts electricity. So this is because of flow of electrons. This is because of flow of ions. Because of flow of ions, it conducts electricity. That is electrolytic conductor. That is electrolytic conductor. Flow of ions means is the physical change or chemical change? Physical and chemical change. Yes or no? Here chemical change takes place. Now here any matter transfers, just electrons flow takes place. Any ion or molecules or metal atoms movement? No, nothing but no transfer of matter. Yes or no? No transfer of matter. Just electrons migration takes place. That metal atoms or metal molecules or ions not migrates from one place to another place. Nothing but no transfer of matter. Only transfer of electrons. But here what happens? Flow of ions. Ions migrate. Some mass migrate from one place to another place. Nothing but transfer of matter. So here transfer of matter takes place. Here no transfer of matter, but there transfer of matter takes place. And this one follows Ohm's law. Follows Ohm's law. Nothing but potential current that is directly proportional to potential difference. Follows that. This one also follows Ohm's law. But here this one not follows Faraday's law. Not follows Faraday's law. Faraday's law means in electrolytic cells only. In electrolytic cells we are using solution. The amount of substance deposited is directly proportional to the current passed, electricity passed, or that is the equivalent mass. Some mass deposition, how much deposited, how much liberated. About this Faraday's laws. Nothing but that Faraday's laws completely related to the chemical change. How much deposited, how much liberated. The amount of substance deposited is directly proportional to quantity of electricity passed. Like this we are taking amount deposited, nothing but that's the matter transfer. About matter transfer, nothing but this one follows. So electrolytic cells follows Faraday's laws. Follows Ohm's laws and Ohm's law and also Faraday's law. Here not follows this Faraday's laws. Okay. Now here only transfer of electrons, flow of electrons takes place. Here flow of ions takes place. Only flow of electrons means this is considered as chemical physical change. Flow of ions takes place means that considers the chemical change. So here only electrons, no transfer of matter, but here transfer of matter takes place. Generally these are solids, they are liquids, and it follows Ohm's law. That also follows Ohm's law, but here not follows Faraday's law. How much amount deposited, dissolved, like that we are not taking, because just flow of electrons. But here flow of ions takes place, no? So how much deposited, like that we can calculate. Nothing but this one follows Faraday's laws. And effect of temperature. If you observe the effect of temperature, here temperature increases. Temperature increases. This resistance increases. So conductance decreases. Resistance increases, conductance decreases. The metal ion migration that restricts the flow of current. Restricts the flow of current, nothing but flow of electrons. Then metal ions oscillation that restricts as the temperature increases. So electronic scattering, that is due to electronic scattering. So as the temperature increases, conductance decreases. Why conductance decreases means resistance increases. What happens? Metal ion, that is the electronic scattering. So because of that oscillation restricts the flow of, prevent the flow of electrons. Okay, so as the temperature increases, conductance decreases. But here what happens? As the temperature increases, Because of ions only flow of electrons. As the temperature increases, the flow of ions also increases. Ions moves with high speed, then more ions will form. Formation of ions increases and movement of ions also increases. Nothing but temperature increases, conductance increases. So in electronic metallic conductors, as the temperature increases, conductance decreases. In electrolytic conductance, as the temperature increases, conductance increases. It why decreases? Electronic scattering. Due to electronic scattering, here conductance decreases. So it is the effect of temperature. Anyhow, two types of conductors. That is the electronic conductors, electrolytic conductors. Electronic conductors means metallic, and all metals examples we can take along with the cadmium sulfides, copper sulfide. These sulfides also considered as metallic conductors. Okay, sulfides and metals. Generally, these are solids. So solids, here flow of electrons takes place. Because of flow of electrons, they act as the good conductors. And in liquids, ionic solutions, because of flow of ions, they act as the good conductors. So ions are involved or electrons are involved. Based on this, conductors are divided into two types: metallic conductors and electrolytic conductors. Anyhow, in these liquids, two types of liquids are there. There is the electrolytes and non-electrolytes. Which one conducts electricity? They are called electrolytes. Not conducts electricity, non-electrolytes. For example, glucose solution. Any ions here? No ions. Glucose is soluble in water or not? This is soluble in water because of hydrogen bonding with water. So soluble, but no ion formation. Nothing but there is a good conductor or bad conductor? Bad conductor. This type anyone given is a non-electrolyte. That is a solution only, but not conducts electricity. Nothing but there is a non-electrolyte. So here what is metallic conductor? What is the electronic conductor? Electrolytic conductor? And what are non-electrolytes? Any factors affecting metallic conductance and electrolytic conductance. Metallic conductance and electrolytic conductance. So what are the favorable conditions to increase the conductivity of these metals? Anyhow, metals conductance is more compared to that electrolytic. Metallic conductors conductance is more than electrolytic conductors. The best one is anyhow silver, best conductor. So factors affecting. So what are the factors here? Now this conductance depends on structure. Where free movement of electrons takes place, their conductance is more. So it depends on structure of the metal. Okay, structure of metal. Where free movement of electrons takes place, their conductance is more. And second one is the number of valence electrons. Valence electrons increases. Number of electrons, free electrons increases, then conductance also increases. So number of valence electrons increases, then conductance increases. And third one is density. Density increases, the conductance decreases. Free electron movement decreases. So density increases, conductance decreases. And temperature, as the temperature increases, anyhow already we learned, temperature increases, conductance decreases. Thermal motion of metal ions restricts the prevent the flow of free electrons. So temperature increases, conductance decreases. These are factors affecting metallic conductance. It depends on structure of metals. Number of valence electrons increases, conductance increases, but density increases, conductance decreases, and temperature increases, conductance decreases. Okay, factors affecting metallic conductance. Next, what are the factors affecting electrolytic conductance? Electrolytic. Electrolytic, nothing but because of flow of ions. So nature of that solute. In solution only we are taking. So nature of that solute. If it is easily ionizable, where ionization capacity is more, it ionizes easily. That produces more ions, its conductance is more. So the given solute is ionizes easily or not, we have to check. Okay, easily ionizable is there, its conductance is more. And depends on nature of solvent also. Nature of solvent, how it affects this solvent, it is a polar solvent or not. If polar solvent is there, that the compound produces ions easily. Polar soluble in polar, so this solvent must be polar solvent. And its viscosity less. Less viscosity. nothing but here solvent interactions. Solvent interactions are more. Solvent interactions are more. Viscosity is more. Viscosity is more. No free movement of ions. So viscosity is more. Conductance is less. Viscosity is more, conductance is less, and polar solvent is good to increase the conductance. So solvent interactions are more. Solvent interactions are more. Then conductance less. Like that, solute interactions are more. Solute interaction is more. Then not decomposed into ions. So solute interaction is more. That time also interaction more. Then conductance is less. Conductance is less. And it depends on size of the ions also. Size of the ions. If ions are small in size, then mobility increases. Size decreases, mobility increases. So small ions are more mobility. Then conductance is more. So depends on size. Small size. Small size. And concentration, so here two types of electrolytes, strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. Strong electrolytes means strong acids, bases, salts, complete decomposition takes place, ions produces, okay, that is a strong electrolyte, complete ionization takes place, complete ions produced. Weak electrolytes means weak electrolyte, for example H2SO4 you take, otherwise HCl decomposes to H plus and Cl minus. Complete ionization takes place. CH3COOH. Complete ionization not takes place. CHCO minus plus H plus. Equilibrium is attained. Reversible process. Nothing but here 100% ionization not takes place. Then it is a weak electrolyte. These are strong electrolytes. Two types of electrolytes here. Strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. Complete ionization takes place. Incomplete, not partial ionization takes place. Here what happens, on dilution, if you are adding more water, then this degree of ionization increases, more ions formation takes place. Nothing but concentration decreases, so dilution increases. Dilution increases, number of ions produced also increases. Degree of ionization increases. Degree of ionization, more ions formation increases, then conductance increases. So on dilution, conductance increases in weak electrolytes. Okay, on dilution, conductance increases. Nothing but concentration decreases, conductance increases. These are factors affecting electrolytic conduction. Okay, so here what are the factors? Nature of the solute. That solute must be easily ionizable. Then it conducts electricity easily. And nature of solvent. That solvent must be polar solvent and its viscosity must be less. Nothing but solvent interaction is more, viscosity is more, its conductance is less. So which type of solvent we have to select? Less viscosity. So then conductance is more. And solute interactions also must be less. Otherwise not decomposes to ions. And also depends on size of that ions. Size of ions less, mobility of ions is more. Nothing but conductance is more. And also depends on concentration. Strong electrolyte, weak electrolyte. Weak electrolyte given. So in that on dilution, degree of ionization increases. So on dilution, nothing but decreasing concentration, conductance increases. These are factors affecting metallic conductance and also electrolytic conductance. Their metallic conductance depends on structure, and valency electrons increases, conductance increases, density increases, conductance decreases, temperature increases, conductance decreases. Here depends on nature of solute, nature of solvent and size of the ions and also concentration. Okay, this is about factors affecting metallic conductors and electrolytic conductance. Okay, so what are the different types of conductors? So here what we learned, what are the different types of electrolytic cells. This electrolytic cell and galvanic cell differences, and electronic conductors and electrolytic conductors differences. So different types of conductors. Okay, so in next video we are going to learn what is that resistance, resistivity, conductance, conductivity, molar conductance. Like this different terms we are going to learn. Okay, thank you.